Hello. First of all, my apologies for coming late with this video because of my busyness. And it has been, I think, one of the longest firing process of a general there in Ukraine, where Zelensky fired finally Zelensky, and General Syrsky is being made the army chief of Ukraine. And I have been a critic of Zelensky, but to be a fair analyst, I'll say at least politically, this time Zelensky has won and he has secured some time for himself in the office, because if you look at the track record of General Syrsky, it's not a very good track record. He is not a, yes, he is a senior officer, definitely much senior than Zelensky, who was just in 50s, and 50s is a very young age to be commanding, to be chief of an army, especially the army which is in a complex war condition. So he is senior, but he has seen many debacles, or he has shown many debacles when it comes to commanding the army. And it's not new. If you look at his debacles, it was from the, you can say, battle of Debel there in 2015, and due to him it is being reported that many soldiers lose their life. But one thing is there, he is very aggressive, he always go on offensive, though those offenses do not lead to good results. Most likely, most of the time they do not lead to good results, and it leads excuse me, to the deaths of many of his soldiers, the Ukrainian soldiers. But he has been made the chief of their army. Excuse me, my apologies. But he is being made the chief of army of Ukraine, and in such a situation, or situations where they are actually losing on all the fronts. And he is a man, if you look at the reports, most of the soldiers do not like him, most of the officers do not like him, even the neocons in Washington, who are the biggest supporters of this war, do not like him. They were probably betting for Budanev, even Britishers were betting for Budanev, but Zelensky made this guy the chief, and it will give him some breathing space politically, because if Budanev was made the general, then there would have been a shift in the kind of battle, kind of war which is taking place, from a usual war, from a general war which countries fight, to an insurgency kind of warfare Budanev would have performed, because he is the chief of military intelligence. He is doing all these kind of activities, killing people and plotting such stuff. So he would have taken the war of Ukraine to the intelligent type of warfare, or insurgency kind of warfare. And I think the western backers of Ukraine, and even neocons, were wanting this. But now, with the appointment of this guy Syrsky, now the conservative kind of war will continue, maybe up till 2025. That means Zelensky will get all those stages on the international community, will get all those money, and there are reports that he has invested in property heavily in Florida and even in Dubai. So he may also be, or he is also thinking about his final exile in Florida or in Dubai. So he is planning, and he is buying time for himself, because this guy, if you look at the new general Syrsky, he won't be able to perform a coup against Zelensky. Why? Because soldiers do not like him, The politicians do not like him, the Western backers do not like him, and even the officers do not like him. And without all this support, nobody can go for a coup. So in a palace kind of politics, and I am deliberately using the term palace kind of politics because there is no democracy right now there in Ukraine. So a palace kind of politics and palace kind of internal sabotage plannings are definitely going on in that country. So in that case, this guy has, Zelensky has bought some time. And historically also, if you look at kings, if they are very weak, they actually appoint a weak general so that he can't go for a coup against him, a general who is not being very much liked by his own staff, who has not performed very well on the ground during the war, but he puts him at the peak of the military affairs so that he can't go for a coup. But it eventually leads to disaster and collapse of the empire, and that I am seeing in case of Ukraine in 1 or 1.5 years or even earlier, depending on the course of war. But talking pure politically, the new general comes with a set of problems as well for Zelensky, because he is basically Russian, and Zelensky also, he is a Russian, he is not Ukrainian. Compared to Zelensky or compared to Syrsky, Zelensky was proper Russian, proper Ukrainian. He has all his all his military education there in Ukraine and in United States of America. Now, if you look at this guy, the new general, Syrsky was an officer, military officer in Soviet army, and he is born in Soviet Union. He was born in Soviet Union. His parents still live in Russia. His brother is there in Russia, and they are on odds with him because of his ideology. They support Putin as per the reports. They support Putin, and they are not in talking terms with him. So he will come as a target. He will become an easy target for the nationalists, for the opposition leaders, and for other folks, and extreme right wing folks who are very powerful there in Ukraine right now, like those of Azov battalion. So he will come in the firing line of all of them, and he will, because Zelensky is also not an Ukrainian, so he will also have to suffer politically. But yes, for time being, this guy Zelensky has won the political battle, if not the real war. Thank you.